Good afternoon. My name is Karen Ginso, and today I am going to talk about media lengua. Okay, so I'm going to start with the definition. Okay, media lengua, also called Chaupi lengua or Quichuañol, is the result of contact between Quechua and Spanish in the Ecuadorian Andes. It is characterized by having a primarily Quechua grammatical structure, but predominantly a Spanish vocabulary. Okay, so here we have some linguistic characteristic. We have four in this case. In this case, we have relexification. That means the key phenomenon in media lengua is relexification, where Quechua vocabulary is replaced with a Spanish word while maintaining Quechua grammar. Okay, we have another one is morphological adaptation. Although the vocabulary is mostly of Spanish origin, it allows the morphological roots of Quechua, such as using Quechua suffixes with Spanish words. Okay, we have another one, lexical freezing. Okay, some expression become frozen, meaning that Spanish words as fused into a single forms that follows Quechua grammatical rules. We have a linguistic change process. Media language incorporates lexical change mainly through relexification and freezing while maintaining Quechua morphology and syntax. Okay, and finally we have the comparison with others varieties. Media lengua differs from other linguistic phenomena like Pidgins or Creoles, as it doesn't imply a reduced mixture of the creation of new grammar. It is also not simply a code switching phenomenon, but a stable, different linguistic variety.
Now I am going to talk about interferencia, transferencia y préstamo. Explain key linguistic concepts relate to language contact. Interferencia refers to the process and result of incorporating elements from one language into another, often seen in language learning contexts. Some prefer to use transferencia for this process as it avoids behaviorist connotations and refers to the natural assimilation of foreign elements. Based on Thomason and Kaufman in 1988, two types of transferencia are distinguished: préstamo, borrowing, which involves lexical and sometimes structural elements, and interferencia, which mainly refers to the structural morphosyntactic change in language due to imperfect learning. Thomas, Thomason and Kaufman also identify 5 degrees of borrowing intensity, ranging from causal lexical borrowing to extensive structural change under cultural pressure. Outcomes of such contact include perseveration of the original language, grammatical restructuring, language replacement, or abrupt creolization. The passage ends by noting different linguistic changes induced by shifts towards a dominant language, including interference or smooth second language learning depending on the group size and proficiency.
Hey, hello, my name is Fernanda Cristobal, and today I'm going to present about main linguistic change. What is main linguistic change? Media lengua is a linguistic variety influenced by contact between Spanish and Quechua. The main change include relification. This term replacement of Quechua word by Spanish term while maintaining the original meaning. Okay, another translation. This word is adoption of words with new meanings. Another is reduplication, emphasize through repetition, okay? And phrasing. This meaning is function of a Spanish word into a single term. This process involves phonological, morphological, and semantic modification, adapting elements of Spanish to the Quechua system. Okay? In this part, here we have some examples about main linguistic change. Replication. What is? What is replication? Replacing Quechua word with the Spanish terms will keep the meaning, okay? Another, translification, using a Spanish word with new meanings, okay? Reduplication, emphasized by repeating words, okay? Phrasing, combining a Spanish word into a single term, okay? In this moment, I'm going to present some example about these terms, okay? Relification, okay? En media lengua adapts Quechua's word to resemble Spanish. For example, tucuchi in Quechua for finish becomes termina like Spanish terminar, okay? Translification, okay? Example, Wauki and Turni, both meaning brother, merge into hermano like Spanish hermano, okay? Reduplications, for example, viving means very good in media lengua, okay? And the finally phrasing, for example, Emmy meaning to me combines the Spanish and preposition and pronouns, okay? Thank you for today is all.
To talk about linguistic variation in media lengua. What is media lengua? Media lengua is a mixed linguistic variety resulting from the contact between Quechua and Spanish. There is a one variation is continuum exists along a spectrum between Quechua and Spanish dialect. About varieties, there are Catalunga and regional variation. About Catalunga exhibits rather Spanish influence from found in Cañar. About regional variation, there are differences in Imbabura and Salcedo, with varying degree of Spanish influence. According to the types of linguistic variation, there are a stylistic variation, social variation, contextual influence. About stylistic variation, this is topic based on degree of formality, example slow versus fast speech. About social variation, this is defined and reflect the balance between Quechua and Spanish influence. According contextual influence, language choices are shaped by social cultural context. For example, in a relationship between the speakers of natural of communication event. The communication can formal or informal.
Hi, I am Lady Orozco, and I am going to talk about linguistic description. Okay? That the first, consonant and phonological variation. Okay? In this case, a change in consonant pronunciation, it could be disexamine and change in consonant, obviously showing differences in pronunciation depending on the context and influencer of languages in contact like Spanish, in this case, Quichua. So this look at how consonants like P, B, T, and D can change in pronunciation based on the context or influencer of another languages. There are some examples, like the first, vaca, instead of vaca. In here, the sound B replaced with sound P. Okay. It is similarity in even in maybe other example could be tower, tower, T-A-W-A, tower, of tower. In this case, this sound replaces with T sounds. Maybe this change often happens when the speaker switch between languages like Spanish and Quechua, which have different sound systems. Okay, that the second is vowel. In this case, change based on word position, the position of the word. Maybe this analyze change in vowels, particularly how the change depending on their position of the word. Influencer of external languages, like in this case, obviously Spanish and Quechua. Okay, there's students how vowels like A, I, E, O, and D. In this case, these change depending on their position of the word or due to our influence through other languages in pronunciation. Okay, there are one example, two. Runa instead of back. In this example, instead of casa, the sorry, in this case, person and the word for persons change, completely showing how of word from Quechua is instead from the Spanish word. It could be Luna, it is a person. Okay. And instead of the Spanish word, like the the meaning it is not the same. That's all. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Naomi, and today I'm going to talk about a linguistic description. Okay, first, phonological in functional words. This section explains the phonological changes that happen specifically in functional words, highlighting their importance in the linguistic structure of the mixed language. Here, we have some examples about phonological in functional words, like allí bueno instead of muy bueno, or aquí pi instead of aquí. Okay. The next is explanations of phonological assimilation. Okay. Hypotheses are proposed on the reason for the assimilation of certain sounds, which include Spanish influence and the natural phonological adaptation of speakers. And again, here we have some examples like termina instead of termina, or cinta instead of sentarse o siéntate.